is CNN Breaking News.
Breaking news tonight. We want to welcome our viewers from around the world to this breaking news coverage. An American journalist has been beheaded by ISIS terrorists. A video showing the horrific killing and its gruesome aftermath was released on the internet a short while ago, along with a message to the United States to end its intervention in Iraq. The victim was freelance journalist James Foley, who was kidnapped in 2012 while covering the war in Syria. In the video, he is seen kneeling next to a man dressed in black. Foley reads a message, presumably scripted in detail by his captors, that his real killer is America. The video, which is obviously too gruesome for us to show you, then shows Foley's beheading. After that, it shows another American journalist also dressed in orange and kneeling, and that man is believed to be Steve Sotloff, a contributor to Time magazine who was kidnapped at the Syrian-Turkish border in 2013. The terrorist says his life is hanging in the balance, depending on what President Obama does next. I'm going to bring in now Bob Baer, former CIA officer and CNN national security analyst, and as well Fran Townsend, former Homeland Security advisor to President Bush and a CNN national security analyst. And joining us on the phone is former CIA Director James Woolsey. Mr. Woolsey, as you look at this, the timing of this, why do you think ISIS chose now for this?
I think the previous speaker was right. They are somewhat squeezed, I think, by, I imagine, an unexpected decision, unexpected on their part by President Obama to use force. He has backed down so many times on using force in Syria and elsewhere that I think they may have been surprised and are doing the best they can to retaliate. I think it's really important that we are dealing here with theocratic, totalitarian imperialists. They are of the view that we are the devil. They are of the view that they should control all aspects of their subject's life, and they want an empire, a caliphate in the Mideast. And it's a different, qualitatively different thing than dealing even with Al-Qaeda, and certainly than dealing with some of the other groups. It is much worse than terrorism. We are at war.
And Fran, when you look at how this has been revealed and the fact that we know that James Foley has been missing for some time, he went missing in Syria in November of 2012. There was thought that he might have been held by the Syrian government. Now, ISIS obviously had him at some point. We've been talking about this, that in a way on sort of a black market, some of these journalists, captives, are traded almost as bargaining chips, right?
Well, that's right. I mean, look, fundamentally, the terrorist is on the screen. You know, I watched this horrific video, and he claims that they are a legitimate government. As Director Woolsey mentions, they've declared their caliphate in the Levant, and he claims that they are a legitimate government, but he's using what is out of the Al-Qaeda playbook. We've seen Al-Qaeda videos of beheadings before, and I think this is an indication that the strategy of military support and military action against ISIS is having an effect, because now they're reacting and they're trying to push back against that, and they want it to stop. I mean, I think it is absolutely right that you can expect more of this. They will have however many individuals they have in captivity, they will one by one bring them out because they're feeling the pressure of military action.
Bob, what are you expecting the U.S. government to do here?
The U.S. government's not going to give up in Iraq. It cannot afford to allow the Islamic State to establish itself. I think these strikes will continue, as the president said. The U.S. government will try to help take back Mosul with the Iraqis. It's clear that we're going to do something about Iraq, and I think, as my previous speakers have said, ISIS is going to hit back at us. The question is, are they capable of hitting outside of Syria and Iraq, for instance, in Europe or even the United States? Sources tell me that they believe that ISIS is here in this country, and they're unsure whether they actually have plans to do something, but it is a fear in the U.S. government, and they're after it right now.
All right, Bob, stand by for us. Fran as well, Ambassador Woolsey as well. We want to find out a little bit more about James Foley.